everyone, my name is Dr. Abimbola Adetunji and I'm a general practitioner in one of the practices in Tralee, County Kerry here in the Republic of Ireland. I welcome you to Shalom Health Talks, and today we'll be talking about thrush, vaginal candidiasis. Now, candidiasis just means yeast infection. Now, we do have yeast residing in the mouth, in the gastrointestinal tract, and in the vagina. So the presence of yeast does not necessarily mean that we should treat it. We do treat it if it becomes symptomatic. Now, there are two main species of the yeast, the candida. There's the first one is albicans, that accounts for 70 to 90% of in the thrush, and the remaining 10 to 30% is by another species which is glabrata. That tends to be more common in diabetics. Now you might be wondering, why is she telling me the names and all that? You'll soon find out. So basically we know that it's an overgrowth of the yeast. And I said that we don't treat unless it becomes symptomatic. Now, quite a number of women would be colonizers. Colonizers as in it does exist there, but they do not exhibit the symptoms. So basically, it was impressed on me to make this video because I've come across quite a number of women who are symptomatic and have, tried this and that, home remedies, even medical treatment to try to get rid of this thrush. And for some reason, they just say it keeps coming back, or maybe they're not doing it right and all that. So I felt, doing a video to educate the people and enlighten my fellow women out there might be of great help, because some people might have been treating it for 6 months, some for over a year. So maybe, if you follow a few basic steps, it might actually lead to complete cure. Before I delve into the treatment, there are just a few, points to note. I've already said that it is common, in reproductive women of reproductive age group, pregnant women in their reproductive years. Also, there are certain principles of treatment. Now, what do I mean by that? Certain principles in terms of that we should be able to keep the vulva area cool and dry, and this is basically by our personal hygiene, making sure that we dry appropriately after washing, and then use of cotton underwear rather than synthetic underwear. And then also it's also important to note that when we are treating this yeast infection, to avoid reinfection, you should avoid sex so that you don't get reinfection from your partner. I'm sure everybody's like, wow, is it a sexually transmitted infection? No, candidiasis is not classed as a sexually transmitted infection. However, if you're in the process of treating it and the treatment hasn't been completed, as in the cure is not complete, and your partner has had it, he can reinfect you or she can reinfect you, either way. So that's why I said to avoid sex. But I just want to emphasize, it is not a sexually transmitted infection. Candidiasis is not a sexually transmitted infection. So basically, now going to the treatment. Also, I'd already said that it is common amongst diabetics, and that's where the second species, the glabrata, is more common in the diabetics, and also in immunocompromised women and even men as well. When I say immunocompromised, those with low immune status, or those infected with HIV and things like that. So let's get on to the treatment. Basically, they're over-the-counter medications that one can get. However, I would say that if you're unsure in any way whether this is thrush or candidiasis, as it's used interchangeably, you should go to your GP. So the first point of call should actually be your GP. But well, if you're sure, there are over-the-counter creams that you can apply on the vulvar area that's outside the vagina, on the skin. And there are also pessaries. So pessaries are like tablets that you can insert high up into the vagina, and the common one out there is the clotrimazole, and it comes in 200 milligram formulation and 500 milligram formulation. 500 milligram formulation, it's for one night, so it's usually inserted at night because you don't want to insert it during the day and then it falls off, so you put it in lasting at night. However, if you're using the 200 milligram formulation, it's every night for 3 nights. Now, having said that, if it's still problematic, or you feel, look, this is not, you don't think it's thrush, please go to your GP. I reiterate, please go to your GP because it might be something else. So I'm just trying to highlight in terms of knowing more about the thrush, which is quite common amongst women of reproductive age, also common in pregnant women as well. Now, when you do go to your GP, will examine, might take a swab and send it to the lab. However, there's a saying my mentor says, if it's looks like a duck, walks like a duck, then it is a duck. So GPs with experience, will know whether it's candidiasis or the vaginal thrush. And when you tell them that when you've informed your GP that you've used the pessaries and the cream and it's not working, they might decide to give you the oral tablets, which is commonly called the diflucan, but the generic name is fluconazole, which comes in 50 milligram formulations or 150 milligram formulations. They might give you a single dose. Or if it's a problematic case, as in there's a case of reinfection and all that, they might put you on the extended course. However, I will leave that to the discretion of your GP. However, I mentioned that there are certain principles about the treatment. So keeping the vulva, cool and dry by personal hygiene, taking time to dry it after washing, use of the cotton underwear rather than the synthetic underwear. What I also found out and about the thrush is that where I am anyway, that you put your underwear into the washing machine and all that. Well, in Ireland there isn't much sun, so when you get them out, a lot of women, and I used to do this as well, when you get your undergarments or your underwear out from the washing machine, you put them on the airer, the cloth airer, and then after a few hours or a day, you feel, look, it's dry, and then you just fold it and put it into your drawers or wherever you store your undergarment. What I noticed is that it's not actually sun-dried. For the yeast and all that, the undergarments, they need to be sun-dried. So what I advise my patients is that they should get, the areas that you can hang over the radiators, and then you can put the undergarments, on those areas, and the heat from the radiators will actually make the undergarments, the underwear, appear as if they are sun-dried. And even after then you get the hot iron and you iron it. Hence, it has to be cotton underwear. And after then, you can then store them wherever you store them, in the drawers or in the wardrobes or wherever. And quite a number of women that I have advised that had problematic candidiasis and followed, the steps that I've just outlined, came back to me with testimonies and success stories, and said, oh, they wish they had been told this before, or they wish they knew this. And very few, well, till now, not one of them has come back in terms of reinfection. That's those that have followed, the guide step by step. Well, I hope this has been enlightening for you, and I hope to continue in posting more videos about other health conditions that might be problematic, or even the common colds and common things. So I'll see you soon. Join me next time on Shalom Health Talks with Dr. Abimbola Adetunji. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely